This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Puma travel trailer. And the model number is 32 RBFQ. Okay. Basically, this is a how-to video. It's not a show-through or a floor plan video. It's just how-to. So I'm going to go over some of the features and tell you how they work, okay? So, first of all, we're at the door side rear here, obviously. And you can see two things. You have the switch for it's got power stabilizer jacks. So this one switch controls both rear, and there's a switch up there that controls both front. Then another thing you'll see are these holes here. There's 3 of them along the trailer. So let's start with the stabilizers. If I come around to the other side here, I want to show you that there's a crank inside. I'll show you the crank in a minute. But I want to show you that there's a shaft with a pin through it on the off-door side of your stabilizers. So you can put a crank on there and crank this manually if they happen to fail. So, like I said, you have a crank with it's a cylinder with a slot cut in it that fits over that shaft with a pin up through it. Okay. So also with the same crank now. You look at these holes here, they line up with the slide room on the other side. So I'll have to see if I can get down here to show you, because I can't really show you through the hole that well. But if you can see right there, there's a shaft with a pin through it. So there are 3 of these, 1 for each slide room. So you can put that crank on there also, and you can crank the slide rooms manually in an emergency also. So there's a way to get your jacks up and your slides in or out in an extreme emergency, and that's how you do it. The crank that I'm telling you about is this one right here. Let me show it to you. It's right here. You see it says a cylinder with a slot cut in it, and it fits over the shaft with the pin through it. Okay. Now this one's just 3/4 here. Now you can also use this one. This one will work also for those applications. You can see it's a 3/4 inch, but it also has a slot in it. So between the 2 of these, you'll always be able to operate them. This one right here with the regular 3/4 goes on your tongue jack. If this tongue jack happens to fail, you can pull the plastic or the rubber plug out of here, put that 3/4 inch crank on there, and crank that manually too. So you can always get hits and unhitched. So those are all excellent features to have, just in case. Okay, so back to the rear here. You have an outside kitchen. Now you have down here a quick connect, actually 2 of them, for the LP system. So you can plug right into the LP system using those quick connect fittings. The reason you have those, let me see if what I got going here, is right here on the back of the grill, or the griddle, you have a fitting also, right? So you've got a hose here. If I can get it free up here. You got a hose, and it's got a male end right here that will fit on the quick connect under the trailer. And then you got this quick connect that fits on the back of the griddle, and that supplies gas to it. You have 2 of them there in case you want to use a grill also, or another appliance. If you get one, make sure it's an RV appliance that's made for a trailer. The gas pressure is different than a regular grill, so make sure you get the right one. Okay, so you got running water, you have a microwave, you have an AC refrigerator, so it's a really complete outside kitchen. Plenty of drawers, and got a cupboard here. Excellent. Lights, of course, plugs, a USB charger, everything you need. Okay, so moving forward, you have an awning. It's a power awning with an LED strip for a light. Outside speakers, of course. This is just an outside shower for kids and dogs and feet and whatever you need to spray down. You also have a TV bracket, a signal out right here, and power, so you can hang a TV there. Now I just want to show you that this right here is the black tank flush. Now the valves are on the other side of the trailer, but when you flush your black tank, or excuse me, after you've drained or dumped your black tank, you leave the valve open like it states on the sticker here. You leave the valve open, then you can hook the hose of the dump station onto here, turn it on, and it'll spray the inside of your black tank out. It'll clean off the sensors really well so you get a good accurate reading on your monitor panel. So it's a good thing to do. If you've got a working hose that hasn't been run over at the dump station, then I suggest doing that every chance you get, okay? Every time you dump. All right, so this is a range hood vent here. I just want to show you, you can't see very well because it's black and it's dark in there, but there's a baffle. You can put your thumb on the baffle and just pop it loose and free it up so it flaps freely. Whenever you're venting to the outside, you always want to move that, you always want to free that so it flaps freely to vent to the outside. Otherwise, when you're traveling or in storage, you can just snap it shut. But if you're going to be venting, open it up. Furnace vent gets kind of hot, so you got to warn kids or grandkids away from it. There's the other hole for the other slide I told you about, the next one. Now the most common way to get water to the trailer is the city water hookup, right? But if you're camping someplace that does not have plumbing on the campsites, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here and use the onboard pump to pump water. So, you know, some older state parks, for example, they'll have a fill station when you first go through the gate by the ranger station, but they don't have plumbing on the campsite. So you would pre-fill it, you would fill it at the fill station, and then when you get to the campsite, you use the pump to pump it. It works just as though you have city water. Okay? This is the water heater here and tank. Let me just take this off and set it down. So, the thing to know about this is this switch right here is a rocker switch for on and off, and it controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover. So there are switches inside the trailer, obviously, but you want to keep in mind that that switch is right there to keep from accidentally turning the electric heating element on. Only turn the gas burner or the electric heating element on when you have water in the water heater tank. So if you've drained it, make sure you refill it before you ever turn it on, or you'll damage it and you'll have to get it repaired. When you drain it, takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket right here, and an extension and a bar, a breaker bar. So that's where you drain it. It has an anode rod attached to it, so it's actually 6 or 8 inches long. So that's the drain plug / anode rod. Of course, never vent it or unscrew this when you have pressure in the tank. Always open a faucet so you can let the pressure out of the system. Otherwise, it'll come out shooting out of here like a cannonball, followed by a couple gallons of water. So make sure that the pressure's been released, and always remember, never do it when it's hot, because you can scald yourself or worse very quickly. So keep that in mind. All right, steps are adjustable. Each leg is independently adjustable. There's the other hole for the front slide. There's your front stabilizer. Okay, so we get here. On the inside, this is a closet from inside the trailer. This, as you can see, is pre-plumbed for a washer-dryer combo. If you wanted to add a stackable or a combo, most people would, for this type, would use a stackable, I believe. This is your hitch. We're going to show you it when you come to pick up your trailer how it works. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. It's a good one, and like I said, we'll show you how it works when you pick up. All right, you have 2 LP tanks with automatic changeover regulator, which is full, or are full. Of course, your power tongue jack, your battery, which is a deep cycle marine battery, and this is a key kill switch to shut this battery off. If you want to, when you go into storage, for example, you can shut it off right there. So any phantom power, you know, any kind of LED displays or the carbon monoxide LP gas detector won't be drawing power, draining down your battery. All right, so this is an adapter here for your short cord. This is a dump hose that comes with it. Let's see what we've got here. I don't even know. It's under the bed for sure. Yeah, you got a 50 amp cord. Let me open or put this up here. Sorry about my camera work. You got a 50 amp cord. So we give you this reducer right here to reduce it down to 30 if you need to. And the other one will reduce it even down to 20. So you would use this like if you're in your driveway at home, for example. You can plug this in to get lights and everything to it. You don't want to run the air conditioner off of a 20 amp circuit, of course, but you can still light it up to pack it up. Alright, so you have a gray tank right here, which is probably a galley tank. Which I'm sure has 2 gray tanks and 1 black. Yeah, here's your gray and your black tank right here. Okay. The black is here. You have a gray here and a gray here. One of them is for the faucet on the outside faucet in the outside kitchen. The one up front is probably for your kitchen sink, and then the other one here is for your bathroom. And there's the black there. So keep in mind, well, first of all, this is your city water hookup right here. That's the most common way to get water to the trailer. But I showed you on the other side there's a black tank flush, so before or after you dump your black tank, leave the valve open and you can use that flush. This is where your 50 amp cord hooks to. We don't have any AC power right now because I'm too far from the building doing this, so I'm running off the battery. This is cable, campground cable and satellite in. You have a pre-wire for a backup camera. This takes the Furion camera that fits in that housing, so it's a kind of a plug and play. It's very simple. You have a ladder, which is great because the manufacturer states you should inspect your roof every 90 days. So make sure you go up there or have somebody go up there and look at the sealant, make sure it's good and tight, no water can get through. Look at the roofing material and the attachments, make sure they weren't damaged by low branches or road debris flying up there or anything like that, okay? All right, so let's go inside. See what we got here. Well, we got a gun range next door. You must be shooting a cannon. It's pretty loud. You normally can barely hear it. Okay, so keys are right here, of course. This is your stuff here, your literature. Your control panel, you got your awning right here. I'll never leave the power awning out unattended, always roll it in. You got your 3 slide rooms. You got lights here. Your water heater on gas is right here. Remember I showed you the electric switch is outside. Your water pump is right here. That's used to pump water out of the freshwater tank. It's also used to winterize the trailer. And then your levels, your battery, fresh water, so on and so forth, okay? All right. Also, of course, you have a TV, and these all have remotes too. You have 3 remotes for this center right here. So you got your regular TV, which is on a swing-out bracket, okay? Then you have your sound here. So what we have here is AM/FM radio. You can stream off this USB right here if you want to, put all your albums on one USB, convert them to MP3s and put them on a USB stick. You can take them all with you. If you this HDMI is an in, so if you want to go into the system with like a portable Blu-ray player, for example, you can go right in there or there. You have 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. You have Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone or tablet, and so you have a lot of options. Okay, when it comes to your fireplace, we're not plugged in, so I can't show you, but it has you can change the color of the crystal and the flame. You can. It's a 2-speed fan. It's a really good space heater, so it has a timer, a lot of features. So you can really it really puts out the heat. So on those days where you don't want to use up your limited supply of LP, it's not cold enough to run the furnace, you can use this, which will run off campground power, and it'll do the trick for you, okay? Alrighty. So this is a jackknife couch that jackknifes flat for a bed. This table drops down onto these cleats, and you can turn it into a bed. It says by the control panel to always lower that down when you're traveling. I can see why they're saying that, because I'm sure why they're telling you this. This will wiggle around a bit, and it probably could dent this corner piece if it did. But just pull the legs and set it and put it down into the travel position, and you'll be all right. All right, let me look around here. So you have your microwave, works like any other microwave. All right. This is your range hood. That vent I told you, or the range hood fan I told you about. Make sure you open the baffle outside when you're running it. It's got a light plus a fan. I don't know if you've got your gas turned on right now, but we'll look here. If not, I'll just talk you through it. So you have a sparker right here. You turn this clockwise to spark it. Then you have 3 knobs and 3 burners, of course, and then the 4th one is for the oven. So now he's got it shut off. So Anyway, you're just going to turn it on and spark it by turning this clockwise into a light. Okay, now down here, all the way at the back is a pilot light. Maybe we can see it spark here. Yep. So what you do is you go to the oven knob and you go to the picture of the flame, which means pilot light. You depress it and you keep it depressed. Then you spark it with your other hand by turning that clockwise until you see the flame light down here. After the flame lights, you still hold this in for another 10 seconds or so to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature. The bottom line is when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Always travel with this bifold cover in the down position. Okay, your refrigerator is a 12 volt DC refrigerator. So it runs off 12 volts. This device here is your, let's see where the, here we go over here. This is your power converter. So it converts AC to DC power. So when you're plugged in, you've got AC power here, 120 AC, just like at home. And you got circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled, right? Then that power is converted to 12 volt DC up here. So you got fuses, and they're labeled over here, I would believe. And that's where the 12 volt DC comes from. Now this is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery needs up front and keep it charged as long as you're plugged in. Of course, when you're traveling, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery. All right. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It goes off of it if it senses carbon monoxide or LP gas. Also, if it's same tone but beeps very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. I'll put it through the paces here. LP is good. Carbon monoxide coming up. And then the low battery alert. And then it goes back to green. It should always be green. If not, get it serviced. It's very important, obviously. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Thermostat is an analog thermostat. It's self-evident. Always run the fan on auto. You just pick out heat, off, fan. Fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. It just circulates air. And then cool is full air conditioning. Make sure you slide. I know it's obvious, but make sure if you're trying to cool, you want to slide your temperature that away, or it won't turn on. GFCI, all the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. You have your sink and shower, which work like any other sink and shower. The toilet is an RV toilet, so it has a flush pedal right here, and so always use chemical in it. You never, and water, you never run it dry. The black tank is directly below, right? So when you get to the campground, you hope you're powering your water up. You put 1 dose of chemical in the bowl. Then you step on this and you let about 1 gallon of water go into the black tank along with the chemical, and you're all set to use it. You can't use it dry, otherwise the smell will be terrible and it can get clogged up. So you always use chemical and water. Never use a dry black tank. Alrighty, rolling along here to the bunkhouse. So the bottom, it's a jackknife, so it turns from a couch into a bed if you need to, and if you want to sit underneath it, this obviously goes up and pins to these little plates there to get it up out of the way. You got another one here, and there's your TV hookup right here. You can add sound system, whatever you want to this, just by planning it through anyway. They usually have enough. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, so you got power under here plus signal. So yeah, you could do whatever you want to it. This is an emergency window. It goes like this. You push it all the way through, and you go all the way through with it. Then you grab hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and then you exit out on an emergency. Okay. All right. So we'll go forward now. I showed you the bathroom, so we'll just go into the front bedroom. It's a big front bedroom. Obviously there's storage underneath the bed. You have your storage, your dresser here, plus you got TV hookups. You can hang a bracket on the wall if you choose to, a TV bracket. You got wardrobe, to hang up wardrobe here. This is what I showed you before. It's right now it's used as storage, but you can use it for a stackable washer and dryer. You get the plumbing and the power and everything all set. So you can do that if you choose. Okay. Alrighty. So, let me look around here. I think I've got it all. Okay, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's one of the most important things you could do when it comes to regular trailer maintenance. Also, keep in mind that this is summerized now. It's been de-winterized, so all the antifreeze has been purged out of the system and replaced with fresh water. The bypass valves are in camping mode right now, so your water heater is filled with water and you're all set, ready to go. Okay? Thank you.